All right, Coach, it looks like we are live on Facebook. We have a good group here on Zoom. So first off, I just want to say thank you so much for spending your time with us today and jumping on this call with our team, and lots of guests as well joining us. So thank you. I want to start off with, for those of you that do not know me, I'm known as Amanda, the Traveling Realtor. And I have met Coach, gosh, what's it been, Coach? 2 years now, a little over, since we met at 10X.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and so I've been coaching with Coach Burt now for about 2 years, and I got to tell you, before I started coaching with Coach, I had never done a Facebook Live. I had never done video. I was a little lost. I didn't really know what I was good at or even what I wanted to be good at, to tell you the truth. And just over the past 2 years, the way that he has led me and really exposed me to so many things, it's been life-changing, Coach. And first off, I want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, well, thank you for being so coachable. Like I tell people, it helps if you cook with the right ingredients. And that's people like you who actually take the coaching and do right, not do a version of it. And for you guys listening, there's probably been nobody else that I've ever coached that has tried, at least attempted to do everything I've taught over the last couple of years as much as Amanda Williams. If she doesn't do it, it's not because of a lack of effort on her not trying to do what I teach her to do. So I love coaching people like you.
Yes, thank you. I definitely, I take what you say into consideration and just try to figure out how to merge that into my business. And I'm excited to share you with my network today. Really, I'm excited to share, everything that we're going to be talking about, how to become a recruiting machine. It's going to be so much fun. And also talking about your selling system. So, Coach, I just want you to take it away and just pour into these people with everything that you got. And let's really serve them today and bring some value to them. So take it away.
We're going to be talking about, I think this is my 10th or 11th book. It's called Inside the Mind of a Monster. And you say, well, isn't the monster a bad thing? Well, my coaching program is called Monster Producer. And we believe a monster producer is a legendary creature that combines multiple skills to dominate a market. And in that book, I talk a lot about the mindset of a top producer. When I look at the top producing agents that I'm coaching around the country, I look at agents that we're doing 45 transactions per year that are now doing 45 transactions per month. And that were people that would never make more than 80,000 in a year that are now making 80,000 a month. So it all comes back to a system. And the reason I wanted to talk about this with Amanda is because when I created my selling system that I write about in the book, Inside the Mind of a Monster, what I really said is that this can be both a selling system or a recruiting system. Okay. If you're looking to sell or recruit, you can use the system that I created about 10 years ago. And we call it the legacy selling system or the monster growth system. Okay. And when you think about a system, I want you to understand that this is a game of probability. For every 30 people you talk to, there will be 4.8 of those people who are open and interested to hear what you have to say. Okay. Which is why you got to talk to so many people. We make 80 phone calls a day in my office from each salesperson because I truly believe if you study the law of diffusion, that tells you that roughly 16% of the people you talk to will be open and inviting to an idea. Doesn't mean that they'll take action. Doesn't mean they'll purchase a house that day. Doesn't mean they'll join your team that day. Just means they're open to it. They're interested in it. Then you follow that up with my book, $1 Million Follow-Up, about 7 core touches to try to bring a person to completion. Then now you're working a system. So I'm going to break down some of that system today. Now, Amanda, I got some good news for you. I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to give everybody on this call, if I can share my screen, I'm going to give them a copy of my book. So I'm going to show you what that is. All they got to do is text this number in, okay? If you can see this, text monster exclamation to 678-506-7543. 678-506-7543. And I'm going to give you this book. Okay, Inside the Mind of a Monster. This has really been the curriculum that Amanda has gone through for the last 2 years. This has really been the mindset, okay? So if you'll text monster exclamation to that number, okay, and Eric and Lakin can also put it in there. People on my team can put it in there for you, so everybody's got it. I want to give you that as a gift for showing up today. Okay. Now, when you think about this, when you think about the mindsets of a monster producer, you think about the mindsets of the top producing people in the world. Okay. There's certain mindsets they have. I'm going to give you 3 of my mindsets and I'm going to get into the system. First mindset I have is that I go to bed tired and I wake up hungry. I go to bed tired and I wake up hungry. Success doesn't care what you did yesterday, don't care what you did last week, cares what you did today. So you got to get this mindset that I'm a cheetah versus a turtle, right? I'm on offense versus defense. I'm initiating versus waiting on something to happen. I'm creating something. And there is no wasted phone call during this cycle, guys. I don't care if they buy something, interested, don't show interest. There is no wasted rep. There is no wasted text. There is no wasted movement. Everything matters, okay? So when you think about this concept, my first mindset I got to get you into is we go to bed tired, we wake up hungry. I didn't say we go to bed well-fed and we wake up complacent. I didn't say we go to bed, we got a bunch of energy left over and we wake up, right? We wake up tired. We go to bed tired, we wake up hungry. The second principle I live by is it all goes to zero at midnight. It all goes to zero at midnight. Okay? No matter how much money you have, what I want you to do is get in your mindset that it goes to zero at midnight. You start over the next day, which is very important for the system. Whether you're selling real estate or recruiting real estate agents, it's something you got to do every day. You got to chop wood and you got to carry water every day. You got to initiate every day. You got to build connection every day. You got to locate a significant problem every day. You got to offer a compelling solution every day, not every now and then. There's a consistency to this. Okay. And the third principle I live by is there comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. There comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. If I can help you get your real estate transactions up, and I think I could help each agent on here pick up between 5 and 15 more transactions if I was coaching them. Do the math on if I helped you get 15 more deals in a year. Do the math on the commission of that. 15 more deals a year. Now, here's what's happening in your real estate business. Now your business is creating enough cash that you have excess cash left over at the end of every month. You now have money to reinvest in your business or reinvest in other things. If your business is not producing enough excess cash at the end of the month, then the business is not as healthy as it should be. In today's world with the COVID-19 virus, your business doesn't have a healthy immune system. Your business needs a healthy immune system, okay? And the reason it needs an immune system so that it can fight off external factors, recessions, downturns, viruses, any of those things. Well, how do you build a healthy business? I'm going to show you the 5 main areas you got to go to work, okay? Number 1, as part of this system, we got to build a world-class explanation of services. And this is very critical. This is the very first thing I started with Amanda on. An explanation of service is a set of core beliefs about what you believe, okay? And this is very important, specifically if you're recruiting new people. When you have conflict with people in any relationship in life, the reason you're going to have conflict is because you don't believe the same things. You believe in speed and they believe in slow. You believe in going 2 miles, they believe in going 1 mile. You believe in showing up early, they believe in showing up late. You believe that work is a distribution channel for talent. They believe work is an occupation or a way to pick up a paycheck. Now, here's the problem. When you have 2 beliefs that do not believe the same thing, it is only a matter of time before you have conflict. Okay? So when you're recruiting people, you want to recruit other people that believe the same things you do. Okay? I believe in giving people more than what they're compensating me for. I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. I believe a good coach can change your life. Okay. I believe the agents that have a good coach are going to earn 3 and 4 times the amount of money than those that don't. And I can give you the proof of agents that we have doing, 160 transactions a year. Now, a good explanation of service starts with what you believe. Here's what I believe. Here's why I believe it. Here's what it is we do. How many of you believe there's a difference between a house and a home? Raise your hand if you think there's a difference between a house and a home. Okay, good. That's a core belief. How many of you believe every person deserves the right to have a professional represent them when they buy, sell, build, or finance real estate? Right? I get an amen on that one, can I? Because if you've ever worked with an unprofessional real estate agent, you say, how in the world, why did they pick this person? Do you know why they picked that person? Because here's the stat. 67% of people use the very first real estate agent that contacts them. They don't use the best one. They don't use the most experienced one. They don't use the most professional one. They don't use the best looking one. They use the first one, which is why speed is so critical. Speed is so critical. So we start the system by helping you get clear on what you believe. That's a 6-step process. Here's the process. Number 1, tell me what you believe. Number 2, tell me why you believe it. Number 3, tell me what it is you do. You could say that I take something very complicated like a real estate transaction, I make it real simple. I take something that's considered to be very stressful and I decomplicate it. You could say I regulate your emotions so we can do this deal, right? Like this is what good real estate agents do. I market your house better than anybody else with a 3-step system I use. What is it? What do you do? Right? I had an agent once say that he could get 6% more money on the sale of a house based on his negotiating tactics. Okay. Now, when you say, this is what I believe, this is why I believe it, this is what I do, then you need to move to, this is how I do it different. Now, there's X number of thousands of real estate agents in California. Let me tell you what separates me from all those agents. There's really 3 things I do that's different than everybody else. 1, 2, 3. Now, this is important because there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of real estate agents in the country. It's considered a commodity. And what I mean by that is the average cat out in America does not know why they should use a good real estate agent. That's why they use any old real estate agent. It's why they use a person they met at a party last night, or a cousin they had that's done 1 or 2 deals that don't know what they're doing, or this person. You got to be able to say, this is what we believe. This is why we believe it. This is what we do. This is how we do it different. These are people we've done it for. Let me give you some examples of 3 people I just helped. Boom, boom, boom. And let me show you how satisfied they were with our services, right? And then you lead them up to say this, if I could do this for you, like I've done it for all these other people, what would stop us from moving forward with each other? Now, this is a framework. There's very few agents in the country that have been coached like this. So what do they say? They say, well, I'm a realtor, right? And I'm a realtor and I help people buy or sell a house, okay? You need to get clear on what you believe and why you believe what you believe and what you do as a result of what you believe and how you do it different than other people and who you've done it for, right? Then you're so much more than just a realtor helping a person buy or sell a house. You're a businessman. You're a businesswoman. You're a professional. You're an expert. You know what it is you do. Okay. Now, how do we use that when we're recruiting? I sit down with Amanda. We have a small talk, right? I initiate the recruiting conversation. I sit down with her and get an appointment. When I do sit down with her, I build connection to her through rapport building or finding a connection. I then locate a problem that she's got. Well, I don't like this about my current brokerage. I don't like this. I don't like this. Then I offer her a compelling solution. And I say, Amanda, here's what I believe. I believe like gravitates toward like. I believe association breeds assimilation. I believe that as a real estate agent, there comes a time when winter is what you did all spring and summer. You need to be thinking about your retirement. I believe in multiple streams of income. I believe in this. Because of that belief, I joined this company. Okay. And here's what we do. And here's how we do it different. Now, if we could do this for you, Amanda, does that sound like something you'd be interested in? And she says, well, shoot, yeah, Coach Burt, I'm ready to go. Okay. And I say, well, great. Let's get you started. Right. Because we believe the same things. So the system starts by having a clear vision of what you believe. Okay. Now, once we have what we believe, we got to generate leads. And we teach a system. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 parts of this system. It's called the legacy selling system. Okay. And all of this is in the book that I gave you. If you just text that number, okay. Everything I'm teaching you is in this book. So text the number to get the book, because you're going to want to read this, because this is how Amanda's had bigger dreams, bigger visions, going from just a real estate agent to seeing a bigger picture, to becoming a businesswoman, to flipping houses, to building teams, right? It's her mindset has expanded in multiple ways, to speaking on stages, to writing her own blogs and books. Okay. So I want to get clear about that you take advantage of that. Now, how do I generate leads? I'm going to give you 4 groups I call on every day. We make about 80 phone calls a day. I know it sounds like a lot. You got to be tough to make 80. Okay. But I believe 16% of people will be open and inviting. In today's world, you should call a person. You should text them. You should video text them. And then you should send them something. Always push them to something in the future. Okay. I'm coming to this. I'm having this event. Let's get on a call tomorrow. Let me send you a video. Watch this. Download this. Now, keep people in a forward position. Okay. Never let deal fatigue. So I start off every day with 4 groups I'm calling on. We make 80 calls a day. Number one, I'm calling on a hit list. And the hit list are people I believe I can help with my services. These are people I believe I can help with my services. I can get these people anywhere. Now, I got a book the other day from the strength coach from the New York Yankees. He follows me on Instagram. And he said, Coach, you make it happen from one coach to another. He was the strength coach for the Yankees when they won the World Series. And he's following me. And he sent me this book. Now, I immediately put him on my hit list. And my hit list is a list of people I think I can help. I reach out to him on Instagram, on Facebook, via text message. And I say, hey, Coach, thank you for the book, man. Let's talk a little bit. Who knows where the conversation's going to go? He could end up being one of our clients. He could end up being a strategic partner. He could end up being one of my top 25. He could end up introducing me to 100,000 more people. The key word here is initiate. I'm going to initiate a conversation. Colleen, you with me on this? Okay, I'm going to initiate. So every day I come in, I got a hit list. And a hit list are people I'm going to be banging on, texting, calling, emailing, phone calling. Now, that group can come from these 4 people. They can come from direct leads that you're generating. They can come from current clients that you're trying to see if you can get a referral, an introduction to another person. They can come from past clients, or they can come from strategic partners. Okay, Kelvin, you see what I'm talking about here? I got four people in my hit list. So Amanda is one of my current clients. Nothing is stopping me from calling Amanda and saying, Amanda, who in your network that you're coaching right now do I need to be in front of? Who do I need to do something? Who do I need to do something with? Who do I need to call on? Who do I need to reach out to? Amanda may give me 4 names of people in North Carolina. She may give me 4 names of people in California. She may give me a strategic partner that I need to connect to. One conversation with Amanda opened me up to doing this with all of you guys. So it put me in front of all of you, all because I said, hey, Amanda, let's do something together on recruiting. So if you're serious about recruiting or growing your agency, so to speak, then you got to be serious about having a hit list every day. You got to call on people. Like, it's not magically going to happen. You got to work it. Even people who've got thousands and thousands and thousands of people in their downlines or thousands of people on their team. It all started with getting 4 to 6 studs on the team. Okay, that's what you had to do. You got to get 4 to 6 studs. Now, second group of people I'm calling on every day is what's called my $1 million follow-up. It's called my $1 million follow-up. It's my farm club. Now, if a person has indicated interest, let me give you a stat. Most of the people on here are real estate agents. The average person is going to buy 4 to 7 homes in their lifetime. How many of those homes would you like to have? Would you like to have one of them or all 7 of them? Each transaction should be worth 5.7 referrals. Would you like to have 1 referral, no referrals, or 6 referrals? All right. Now, okay, we're all in on this part. Let me tell you the sad part. 98% of real estate agents never call a customer back once they put them in a home. Wah, wah, wah. Now, what happens there? Hey, it was all fun and games when we're getting them referrals, right? But we're not getting referrals because we don't call on people. We don't check. I did a real estate transaction on a house in Florida. The agent made $82,000 commission. She's never called me one time. She never congratulated me on the sale of the house or the purchase of the house. She's never come by to see me. She never done anything. Folks, this is stupid. And my 7-year-old daughter says I'm not supposed to use that word, but I'm going to use it. It's stupid. When you make an $82,000 commission, but you don't call the person back and say, how's it going? I love working with you. Who else can we represent? Do you have any friends? I'm going to stay in your life once every other month to make sure everything's good with you. See, this is crazy, folks. That real estate agent, by the way, is doing less than 40 transactions a year. Okay. And here's the deal. 40 is good when you're making that much commission. But here's the point. She could be doing 80 a year if she just called her customers back after she put them in a home. Can you tell I got a little animosity toward the agent? Now, here's my point. If you gave me $82,000 and I never called you back, you should be mad at me too. Now, here's my point I want you to think about, guys. Every day I got a farm club of people who have indicated interest in my services, but I got to bang on them 7 to 15 touches. 80% of the time, it takes 7 to 15 touches to convert a prospect to a client. We call that the $1 million follow-up. I wrote a book on it. Okay. $1 million follow-up is I need to get creative in how I follow up. Text message, phone call. We use a lot of short 1-minute videos, Instagram hit. Okay. A lot of times I'll text a person and say, Ron, I'm available right now. You got time to talk? And you'd be shocked how many people say, yeah, call me right now. Okay. It's just a tactic. It's just a strategy. Okay. And if they tell me they don't have time to talk, or when I call them, I act like I don't even hear them. I just keep going. Okay. Hey, it's not a good time to talk. I understand. Hey, all I need is 2 minutes anyway. I just keep going. I don't even stop. And very seldom do they stop me. So number 2 in my selling system is I got a hit list every day and I got a farm club every day. And the farm club are people who have indicated interest that I haven't closed. How many of you think you could tighten up your follow-up? Raise your hand if you could tighten up your follow-up. Okay. You got to go 7 to 15 touches, guys. And here's the deal. Follow-up is also after the sale. Okay. In my opinion, you need to call them the day of. You need to call them 2 days after. You need to call them 2 weeks after. You need to call them 2 months after. You need to stay in their face because you want to get the 5.7 referrals. Okay. Now, I got a person on my team that bought a house. Lakin Hibden's on here. Lakin, this is the first house you ever bought? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now, was there a real estate agent that represented you on that house?
Yes.
Is it somebody we know?
Yes.
Have they done a good job following up with you afterward?
Absolutely.
Okay. How often do they contact you?
Once a month.
Which agent was it?
Steven.
All right. So it's a team I'm coaching. It's doing 160 transactions a year. They ought to be calling back, right? Now, let me ask you a question, Lakin. Did the home builder that put you in that house, that built that nice house for you, ever call you back?
No.
Did he ever thank you for buying the house?
No.
Did he ever ask if you had any friends that would like to buy houses?
No.
Do you have friends that would like to buy their first house?
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, see the problem there? Home builder built the house. He could have very easily stopped by and said, Lakin, we appreciate you. We thank you for buying a house from us. Who else? Who are your friends would like to buy more houses from us?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? The follow-up after the sale is pitiful in most situations, okay? Third group of people I'm calling on every day, guys, is I'm calling on, and this may be where the most money is made, I'm calling on what's called my top 25. I actually believe if you're recruiting, Amanda, that the number one strategy you can use is through your biggest advocates. So you want to build out a network of 25 studs and studettes. And these are big time people who love you and you love them. Y'all love each other. You love each other so much you can't stand it. Right? And so here's the deal. You're promoting them and they're promoting you. And excuse me, you're staying involved in their life. Okay. You're staying involved in their life. They're staying involved in your life. But here's what you need with your top 25. You need frequency. You need frequency. Okay. Like I have 25 players that I'm texting, calling, loving on, spending time with, right there in their face. You're doing things together. Now, what's the value of that? See, in the old days, if I do a deal with Kevin and it's a good deal and he likes me and I like him, he goes and tells 2 or 3 people and I get 2 or 3 people. In the new days, we got Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, TikTok. What if Kevin goes and tells 10,000 people about me? He don't tell 3 people. He tells 10,000 people. Now it's not the referral. It's the referral from the referral. It's the name recognition. It's the multiple deals. So Kevin don't bring me 1 relationship. He could bring me 1,000 relationships. You know, when I spoke at 10X, when Amanda saw me, I got on that stage to speak in front of 10,000 people because of my relationship with Grant Cardone that started in 2012 when I did an event with him and 75 people showed up. I spent the next 7 years building a relationship with him to get on that stage, to get in front of 10,000 people. That 10,000 people, what would it be like if I got you in front of 10,000 people? How many houses could you sell? How many recruits could you pick up? That's my point. So the relationship started 7 years before me actually getting on the stage. I had to nourish that relationship. I had to feed that relationship. I had to spend time with that relationship because there's only X number of people that are going to get that opportunity. You see what I'm saying here? So for you, my point is this top 25 strategy is a big one that a lot of people neglect. But I want you thinking, I got 25 strong relationships. They could be past clients. They could be current clients. They could be people in your network, right? Because Amanda's in my network, I got her an opportunity to speak on stage with me, Tim Story, Sharon Lecter. These are big time people. Okay. So here's the deal. Who you know matters. It's not what you know, it's who you know. But when you get in the door, guys, you better know. You better know. You better be good, right? That's the key thing. So the third group I'm calling on every day is my top 25. Okay. And the fourth thing I'm doing every day is I'm planning what's called showcase events. And this is important if you're recruiting. I have these unique properties around the country, a big lodge in Tennessee, 8,000 square foot lodge in Tennessee, a 9-bedroom house in Florida. And what I've noticed when I bought those properties is when I get people to those locations and they get around other like-minded people and they get excited is when they take action. Everybody with me? So what you want to do is you want to plan events, and it could be right now online events, virtual summits events, all these events, like you're planning things, you're pushing people to it. They're getting excited and they're saying, oh, I didn't know about this. This is what I want to be a part of. This is what we call the showcase event. So every day I'm planning events. Like I'm planning events right now into August, September, October, November. Like I'm about to release new retreats with new people, new concepts, new strategies. I'm doing webinars with me and my wife. I'm doing webinars with me and my clients. I'm doing webinars with me and customers all over the world. I'm doing podcasts. Those are opportunities to showcase your abilities. So every day I'm planning something. Every day I'm creating something. Now for you, once this virus is gone and we can get out and see people and have events, you need to be having as many events as you can. Amanda is great at this. She's going here, she's doing this, she's having this, be part of this, you can do this. Because I know we need things to push people to in the future. Now, why did I just tell you those 4 things? Whether you're selling real estate or you're recruiting, do you need to be doing both things every day? Do you need to have a hit list every day? Yes or no? Those are people you call on for new money. Do you need to have a farm club every day when you come into the day of people you're trying to close? Yes. Do you need to be nourishing your top relationships? Yes. Do you need to be planning events? Yes. Those are 4 things you need to be doing every day. If you're going to be a top real estate entrepreneur in the world, these are things that people of interest are doing. Okay. Now let's break down a few more concepts of the system. So every day I come in, I got a hit list, I got a farm club, I got a top 25, and I got I've got my hit list, farm club, top 25. Now let's talk about the 5.7 referrals, because once I'm working you through the system, right? Explanation of service, selling system, follow up. Then we need to talk about how we extract 5.7 referrals from every transaction. That's a National Association of Realtor stat. Every person is going to buy 4 to 7 homes. Every home they purchase should be worth 5.7 referrals over the lifetime of the consumer. And I want to give you a statement where there's no engagement with a product or service before, during, or after the purchase of that product or service, there can be no change or no transformation. And where there's no transformation, there's nothing to talk about. How much engagement should you have with the people you're selling houses to? My real estate agent calls me every day. He takes me to breakfast every Saturday morning. Why? I'm one of his top 25. Now, here's the deal. We don't talk about real estate every day. We talk about life, success, family, winning, failing. When I want to talk about real estate is when we talk about real estate. Does everybody see that? So when he goes to his office, it's not like, well, who should I call? Who should I call? Well, if I've served 300 families the last couple of years, I should be calling on those families. That's a hit list. I should be calling everybody we just closed in the last 30, 60, 90 days. I should be engaging with all of my top people at a high frequency. I should be working the system. And the system never lets me down. The price must be paid and the process must be followed. What is the process? Every day I'm working. 98% of agents never call a customer back once they put them in a home. Now, I've got a buddy that bought a multi-million-dollar home in Tennessee. I mean, big home. I've stocked $6 or $7 million home. And he did an open house because he owns a mortgage company. And all these real estate agents came to the open house. And one of the agents walked up to him and she was furious. And she said, I can't believe you didn't let me represent you on this house. After all, I represented you on the last house. And he looked at her and he said, I haven't heard from you in 13 years. Don't be mad at me because I didn't let you represent me on the house. Be mad at you. You're the one you should be mad at because you didn't call me in 13 years. What's the likelihood of me using you again if you didn't call me? She could have got a commission on a $6 million house if she'd have just worked the system, if she would have just followed up. Now, I'm telling you this because when it comes to recruiting too, Amanda, If you get a team and you don't engage with them, if you don't keep them psyched up, if you don't activate the pray drive on a consistent basis, if you don't teach them a system that they can use, if you don't teach them these stats about real estate, then what happens is left to our own devices, they just flounder around out in the world. And that's not what you want. You want a team. You want a system. You want a structure, okay? So the book that I gave you today, if you text that number, if you didn't get it, I'm giving you this book, is a book that will help you. It may double your real estate business. I mean, if you really do what I'm teaching you to do in here, it's really just a system and a structure and a process. So let's take some Q&A. I've been talking for a while. I got so excited, I almost threw up on myself. Okay, that's good.
That was awesome, Coach. If you have a question, just unmute yourself and I'll bring you on live.
I'll take any question on anything. Nothing is off the table.
All right, Coach Burt, this is Kelvin. How you doing?
Doing great, Kelvin.
All righty. My question is, when you've been out of the business for 6 years, and you're just not coming back in, you had a huge database, but now you're trying to re-engage that database again. What's the best approach I could use? I'm speaking about my own personal circumstances.
Are you going to call these people? Or are you going to email these people? Or are you going to do both?
I'm going to call, email, knock on the doors, whatever I need to do to
create a relationship. Here's what I would tell you. If you have not, let's say, and we've all made this mistake. Let's say that if you've been out of the business for 6 years, not a mistake, or let's just say you hadn't engaged with them for 6 years. Okay. Let's just put it that way. Here's what I do when I call people. I just be honest with them. If let's say that you have been in the business and you hadn't called them and now you're calling them. First thing I'd say is, look, first thing I want to do is apologize to you. Should have done a better job of staying in touch with you. I should have done a better job of staying in your life. And I hope you can forgive me for that. But man, I'm committed. I want to come back and be involved in your life. I love working with you. I like you as a person. I want to let you know I'm back in the business. I'm ready to go. And that's the first initiation. Now, I don't expect that one phone call for them to leave the agent they're with and come to you. I expect you to say, look, I'm going to stay in your life. Kelvin, with your permission, man, I'm going to stay in your life. I'm going to feed you some good information. I'm going to be a positive source for you. And then at any time you need to talk about anything as it relates to real estate, I'd like to be here for you. All I want to do is earn your business. I had your business at one point. I want to earn your business and be your real estate professional. Now, I know this takes discipline, guys. What I'm teaching you today, it's simple, but it ain't easy. Okay. I would tell you that this is why so many agents don't do it. They just go to the office and sit and wait. So if you got 6,000 names, there is no way in the world you won't shake a sugar tree loose if you call all 6,000 of them. I guarantee you. Somebody's going to, they may say, man, I'm so glad you called me. You got a great personality. I love working with you. Matter of fact, I do want to do something. Okay. You never know what's on the other side of that phone call. You never know, which is don't think. I told a guy this morning, he's like, well, I don't want to call these people because I don't want to cold call people. And I'm like, the way you're looking at this is all wrong. You're calling to make a connection. You're not calling to sell them anything. Now, if they have a problem and you can solve the problem and they're willing to exchange money for the problem, then was it worth it? You don't even know what their problems are because you've already had a consideration. And a consideration is, for Kelvin, a consideration would be, well, these people have already forgotten about me. They probably moved on to somebody else. Why even call them? And I would tell you that's an internal thought that prohibits an external action. I would say, give me 6,000 names and I'll call them. I'll tell you what, Kelvin, you give them to me, I'll call them and I'll split the commission with you.
Okay, no, don't worry about it, Coach. I'm going to call them. And I will call them.
I don't activate the pray drive in Kelvin.
That'll work.
All right, Kevin, you're in California. Give me a good question, big guy.
Good question.
I'm so blown away already by everything that I've been absorbing here. Yeah, I kind of echo the sentiments of Kelvin, where he's coming from. I feel, I'm so feeling where you're coming from. I saw that ring on your finger. It tells me that you're a sports guy like myself. So, you know, I mean, that's kind of like my modus, man. You know, just to always be out there, ABC, always closing, always competing, always trying to get better and building. It just feels good to hear that from you, man, because you fired me up. You fired me up. I'm ready to get in the game now.
Good. Yeah, I'm a old sports guy, old sports coach, basketball coach.
I got it.
Let me tell you what we did, guys. And I learned so much when I was a basketball coach because we practiced 5.5 hours a day with those players. Like every day's on offense. I used to bring them at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. That's why we kicked everybody's butts. Well, what we got to do in our real estate business is we got to use that same kind of discipline. We got to come in every day and make our calls. We got to call a hit list. We got to work our farm club. We got to be loving on our top 25. We got to go into it with no hesitation, no scarcity, no consideration whatsoever. That's what we got to do. Okay. So that's really the purpose of the call today, is to keep you in an offensive position. Okay.
Hey, I have a question.
Sure.
For those who are coming into real estate brand new or so, how do you suggest them to go out and start creating that top 25, that hit list and things like that? How can they get started?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think you go back to your power base of people that, you know, I was a basketball coach before I started my coaching business. So when I started my coaching business, I started thinking about who's all the successful people I've been around. How do I go to them and explain to them what I'm doing? That was kind of my power base. And I actually sat down with 50 people. I targeted 50 people. I physically wrote their name up, and I called all 50 and said, I'm changing careers. I want to sit down and talk to you about it. You've been successful. Maybe you can give me some advice and counsel. And 46 of those people took meetings with me. And then what I did is, during that meeting, I would ask them for their feedback. Like, what would you do? How did you do this? What would you suggest here? And then about halfway through that, they would say, now tell me what you're doing, coach. And I said, well, I'm starting a coaching and consulting business where I'm coaching business people. And I'm using the principles I learned as a championship coach to come over to the business world. And they would introduce me to people. They'd be like, well, I got 3 people you need to call today. So it's really, to your question about initiating, I would start with a hit list of people that you're going to call on, see where there's some congruency there. And then some of those people are going to become your top 25s. Some of them are not, right? So I would go back to my power base, whatever industry you came from. I would go back to those people and I'd say, here's what I'm doing. Here's how I'm doing it. Here's how I'm going to do it different. And then I would try to really build some enthusiasm there. Okay. Because each one of you have people, you know, it shocks me how many people I've met in my lifetime that I've never called on. I've never picked up the phone and initiated a conversation with. I've never even thought about that. That's a consideration. Some people, I go into it thinking, well, this person's role is this, or this person's role is this, only to find out they have interest. There's a product or service I can help them with, and I never even thought about it. It never even crossed my mind that I could help them. I never even called them because that's a consideration. Okay. Any other questions?
Coach, I've been talking to a few agents, and their biggest thing is they don't know what to say when they call their clients or when they call their people. And they're like, well, should I talk about COVID-19? I'm like, yeah, lay it on the line. But at the same time, you're not calling them for a business call. You're calling them to see how they're doing, to really see how they're doing. So can you speak a little bit more into that?
Yeah. And I want you to understand, I want you to think, you don't need a script. I always tell people you don't need a script to be a good person. I know we live in a world where everybody wants a script. You could pick up the phone and call and say, man, I'm thinking about you today. And we got a couple things we got going on. And how can we help you during this period? Sometimes what people need is just their emotional support. Sometimes they just need some energy. Sometimes they need a tactic or strategy. Like right now, a lot of my clients need strategy. They need a tactic that I'm using. Like I was coaching retailers this morning, and nobody can come in their shop. So they can't generate business. So they're trying to figure out how to sell online. And I was going through different tactics and strategies on how to get people excited, on how to have a deal of the day, and how to have a sale coming up, and how to do all these things. And just the conversation stimulated their thought process. They're like, okay, this is great. Now we're ready to go. Sometimes all people need is one word, one sentence, one thought. Now, if you ever came to any of my offices or houses where I have around the country, I have books set up in different locations. And like right now, I got a book over there that says Make Your Bed. And then I got one right there that says Habits of a Champion. And then I got one over there that says Three Kings. That one's about P. Diddy, Dr. Dre, and Jay-Z. Now, here's the deal. When I look at those books, it triggers something in me. Because as I was reading that book about Dr. Dre and Jay-Z, when Jay-Z came back, he had several albums that he didn't sell a lot of copies. Okay. And so he had to reinvent himself. And Dr. Dre created beats. And when you think about these concepts, what it got me thinking about is, man, I need to be thinking bigger. I need to be thinking about deals that can happen right now. I need to be thinking about how to sell this concept to somebody. Every time I look at these books, it triggers something in my mind. Do this, take action. Same thing is true with your clients. Sometimes just a phone call triggers something in them. Hey, I got an idea. Hey, I got a strategy. Hey, I got a tactic. Sometimes it's just, hey, how you loving that house? What's going on in your life? How your kids doing? How's your wife doing? Right? What do you got going on right now? Sometimes it's just a little emotional support that people need that triggers them. Like this yesterday, I woke up in a funk. When I say funk, I mean I was just pissed off. That's the only way I know how to tell you. Okay. And I was mad because we can't go anywhere and we can't coach people and I can't speak like I normally get to. And I can't like we're very confined. And then I watched a few things that morning. I worked out. Then I watched one thing and I'm like, all right, now I'm ready to go. One video, one talk by one person. I'm like, all right, now I'm ready to go. I just needed an attitude adjustment. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes a good coach can be that attitude adjustment for you. They can say, you're thinking too small here. The way you're looking at this is all wrong. You need to change your perspective. You need to change your mindset right here. You need to be doing this. That's what a good coach should be doing for you. All right, Amanda, before we go, I know we had some folks join. I'm going to show people my screen one more time because I want to give them this. If you hadn't got the book, okay, okay, where's my book?
Coach, your screen looks like mine.
All right, Mel, I can't find the book now. All right, let me open. There it is. When hiding on me. Now, I'm going to give you guys this book, Inside the Mind of a Monster. It's the book I've been talking about today. All you got to do is text that code, and it'll walk you through it. Okay, and if you want to get that, then I'd love to give it to you. A lot of these things that I've been coaching Amanda on are all in that book. It's one of my favorite books. When people come to me and they say, which book do you have on mindset, toughness, how to attack, how to play offense? It's easy to me. It's that book, Inside the Mind of a Monster. This is the talk I gave at 10X, by the way. When they asked me to speak at 10X, I asked Cardone what he wanted me to speak on in front of the 10,000 people. He said, man, I want you to show people how you play offense every day. I want you to show people how you went from a high school basketball coach to where you are today. That's what I want you to show people. And so I crafted this message called Inside the Mind of a Monster. And it was so popular that I wrote a book on it. Okay. So that's kind of the concept is you got to be a freaking monster in today's world. It's a competitive world, man. It's out there. You got to go get it. So take action on that. Amanda, thank you. I got to jump on another call, but I want to say thank you to everybody. My California friends. I feel like I made some new friends today.
Thanks, Coach.
I appreciate you. Everybody needs a good coach in life. And hey, if you're looking for a good coach, quit playing around, man. You need this little bald-headed pit bull in your life. Fair enough?
I love it. Thank you so much, Coach.
All right. You guys have a great day.
Bye, Coach.
All right. Thanks.